Hey everybody, it's James. We're with the Board Game Spotlight in Druid City Games. And today we're checking out Legendary Creatures from Eduardo Brief and Christopher Ham. And I can't pronounce the artist names, not at all, so I'm not even going to try. But this is for 2 to 4 players. It says 10 plus and 60 to 90 minutes. I definitely think that's probably about right. It's probably going to be more like a 2-hour game if you've got 4 players. But let's go to the table and let's check it out. And so let's take a look right into the gameplay. I've got it all set up here. We've got the different boards up here at the top. You'll see we have the board that keeps up with our day in the round track. You've got the expedition boards. You've got the 4 different realms, and then you've also got the creature expanse, the vast expanse. And these are creatures that we can add to our hands, and I'll explain how that works. And then a little bit of deck optimization, because everybody starts with the same starting deck that has different creatures that have their magical power and their affinity that they align to, and then their ability. And so like this griffin, he's with the wind, so like you got the gift of air realm here. And then also it's worth 4 magical power, and then it has this ability. And so each creature is different in that they have different amounts of magic that they do, and their different affinity and their different ability. Okay, so you have that as your starting situation. All right, and then so over here you've got each realm. We're going to be competing for the gifts of that realm. So whoever gets the furthest up the track, each realm will get the gift ability and bonus. Let's take a look at a player board. So here's our player board, and we've got this track that pretty much keeps up with all of our stats. So like, we're going to be trying to get magical orbs in each of the 4 realms, and overall just magic in general. And so you've got this 1 to 20 board here, and so as you gain what you need or what you're shooting for, you can keep track of what you have amount-wise on your board. This is also renown. This is what wins you the game. And so everybody starts with 5 renown. We've also got these 3 spells that we can play throughout a day, and then we have an amulet. And so let's talk quickly about the day. So the game's going to be played over 3 days. It's got a morning, afternoon, and nighttime, and so it's essentially 3 overall rounds with 3 sub rounds. Okay, and so the overall goal of the game is to get as high on these realm tracks as we possibly can. Big bonus is if you're the first person to cross the threshold here, you'll move into first place for this realm and get 25 in-game points. And then also the in-day expeditions are pretty interesting. They have some pretty major situations going on there. So we got like a gain 6 magic, and we got a gain 2 renown for use during the next day. So, and I'll explain how you do the access to the expedition board in a minute. The main crux of the game, the biggest thing that you're going to be doing, is on your turn, you are going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to decide how you want to play these. So, in the order in which you play is very important. Whoever has the highest creature in the first position, magic power-wise, that sets the initiative. And so, there's an amulet that, so like Kajar's amulet, it breaks all ties. So someone is going to be able to break the tie if people put 4s in front. But let's just say we put the Jabberwock in front and a 4, and we did everything here as we laid out. Okay, so that means we're going to resolve our hand in this order. Now this is hidden. You're doing this without other people seeing it. So the first 3, oh sorry, hit the camera. You're going to play in that order. So let's say that I ended up having initiative. So I was going to get to go first. So I would take my player amulet. It would be in the order up there so you can see who goes where. And then I would invoke one of the realms. Now, I'm only moving my familiar in the area that I invoke. So let's say that I decided I wanted to invoke air. That's where I was going this round. I'm going to try to go there. So I can play my card for its magic and gain it. I can, or I can play it for its ability. Okay, so it's very tactical in the way that you're trying to lay these out to get the best combination of things that you're trying to do. So So I'm going to say I'm going to use a Jabberwocky for 4. I'm going to use I could gain 2 renown. I'm going to get 4 more. So I'm going to go up to 8. And then over here, this creature shares the place that I have Infinity for, and so I'm probably going to use it for some other. Let's go. So I'm going to use it for the Piercing Screech and gain 2, but then it gets +1 because they match. So like its affinity matches the realm that I invoked. So I'll get 3 there. And then it also has, this doesn't apply right now since it's the very first turn of the game, but it has aerial maneuvering, so I can move back 1 space in any realm to move forward in 1 space in another realm. Again, very tactical if you've positioned your familiars in a certain way. All right, so now I can move, and here you see it costs 2 magic and 1 orb of that type to move up in that space. So I have 8 magic and 3 orbs. So I could go 6 and 3, so I could use all of that. It would drop my magic down to 2. It's right here. That's what I have left. And I could move my familiar 1, 2, 3. So that's where I would end up for the first part of the first day. Then whoever was in second in initiative would go and do the exact same thing. They would reveal their cards. Oh, by the way, I left this one card out of the way. This face down doesn't get revealed. We are building a hand to go on an expedition. And so everybody's going to take their turn with their 4 cards. And then we're going to do that again for the middle of the day, for the afternoon. And then we'll do it again for the nighttime. So by the end, you're going to have 3 cards in this pile. Let's just assume it looks like this. And everybody at the end will turn these over and we'll add up our magic that we've put toward the expedition. And then we'll also, if we've gained any renown, sometimes you can get renown tokens on here from one of the amulets, and that also gives you +2. So those are very important strategic ways to try to get a boost on that, because not everybody is going to get an expedition token. So you're going to be fighting for those. One of the other main things that you can do when you're working these out, let's say this hippogriff, let's say this unicorn, you didn't really plan on using that. You didn't want to do that. You wanted to optimize. You want to get this unicorn out of the deck. So you can discard the unicorn and then look at the board in the vast and see what's here. Now this is not the only 3. There's more. So, but the deck is shuffled and seated in a certain way so that no one knows which ones are going to be up in the game. But these were our starting 3. So you could have said, oh, I really want to grab that dragon because it has an ability just to straight up get 3 renown. So on your turn, you can befriend it once per round and get that unicorn out and then add the dragon to your deck. And you immediately use it. So instead of using the unicorn there for its 4, I would have been able to use it for 5 and we would have had 1 extra magic. Or again, could have used it for the gain 3, its ability. I also inversely could have gotten this Chimera and got it instead, which would have gave me even more creatures in the realm that I'm going for. So it just really depends on what you're trying to do. Again, very tactical. There's also an ability where you can, so these 3 spells, we'll get into that soon. At the end, you have a spell phase, and so everyone has the same 3 spells, and you can use these 3 spells at any point during the day. So if on the round 1 in the morning you wanted to use all 3 at the same time, you could. Or if you wanted to do 1 here and 1 in the afternoon, 1 at night, you can. But like for an example, the Mind Link. Place in front of a target opponent. Each time the targeted opponent gains magic or renown or any of the orbs during their action phase, gain 1 as well. So if you think somebody's really ramping up to do a whole bunch of stuff in, say, the Earth realm and you need some of those, you'd throw it on there because you're going to get some too. Amplify. Place on a target creature in your party. Double any magic or orbs or renown gained from the targeted creature this turn. So what if I put Amplify on the dragon and I used it for its ability? That would double it. It'd get 6. Or I could double it and get 10 magic. So again, you're going to really try to be efficient with these spells and really set them up and do well. Shadow Step. Place on a target realm. The first time an opposing familiar changes position in the targeted realm, advance your familiar 1 space and return Shadow Step face down to your player board. So if you see, again, somebody's going to try to get way ahead of you, you can throw that out there. You just got to time everything well. So it's all about tactics and getting those things knocked out. So also, amulet. This has a cool mechanic that you can exchange an amulet with anyone at any time and they can't refuse you. So you take one of your renown, you put it with the amulet, and you force a trade with someone else. Are you tired of losing the ties? Well, you can make the yellow player give you Kazhar's amulet. And now you break all the ties. Again, very important because most cards are going to be pretty close, and if you play your high card, there's going to be a lot of 4s up there unless you see the dragon. But then it's got to come back up into your deck, so it might be a round and a half before you see your dragon again. So moving up in a round first is important sometimes, depending on your strategy. So this plays out over 3 days. At the end of the day, that's when we'll all turn over those expedition cards and settle the first expedition. And that'll be done each time after that for the next following 3 days. Everything is kind of set up for player count, so you don't have to worry about like anything being unbalanced. He's got everything figured out there. If you like tactical, really thinky, definitely planning things out, this is going to be a game you're going to really enjoy because there is a ton of this. There's a ton of back and forth, a ton of I'm gonna combo these 3 cards together to get a bunch of different things going. He also has a variant in there where you can mulligan. So if you're really against luck, if you really want to remove the luck from the game, you can pay a renown and mulligan some cards that you drew and draw out more cards to try to get a better combination. Also move through your deck faster if you've got a big bad couple of cards that you've seeded into your deck. So there's a couple of, you can get super tactical and strategic with this game, and it's much longer than any of Ed's games from Pencil First before. This is when he says 60 to 90 minutes, he means it. This could go 2 hours in a 4-player, and you're gonna want to play this with people who really enjoy tactical, thinky games because this is not code names. So if you like that sort of game, this is going to be right up your alley, and it's gorgeous. I mean, just look at it. Look at that art. It's just really pretty. I love the way the characters look. Love the way the cards are laid out. Great graphic design. Very easy to read. So, guys, this is Legendary Creatures, and it's from Pencil First Games. All right. So I want to take a minute and talk about a few of the things that I really like about this game. Let's firstly talk about how pretty it is. It's just a gorgeous game. The creatures, the graphic design, everything is really well laid out. Another thing I really like is the deck optimization. So as the creatures come up, I always find it really funny to be like, I'm always constantly thinking, how could I get the behemoth in there? Just because the ability says it's big and dumb, just like me. And really, that was a lot of fun for me to go ahead and swap those creatures out, and that you could do that at any time. You didn't have to, there was no special, like you didn't have to wait to get that into your deck. As soon as you swapped it out, you got to go ahead and use that creature, which I thought was awesome. Next, I really liked the back and forth tug and pull. You're really tug of war type with other players on who's going to be in the lead to try to get that gift from that realm. It kept you engaged the whole time, and you're constantly thinking about your plan on how you're going to try to maneuver your cards that you have, and your plan was very sound, trying to get that executed. And so I will say that this game is much heavier, much heavier. So if you like tactical and strategy, this is going to be your type of game. If you're looking for something that's lighter, this is a step outside of the Pencil First Games kind of normal catalog. And so just know that going into it, that this is not going to be probably a family type game. This is going to be a heavy tactic game. So if you enjoy it, jump on this. You're going to love it. So this is Legendary Creatures, and I give 2 thumbs up. If you like what you saw today, like, subscribe, Facebook, Twitter. We've got all those things going. You can follow us because we've got more games and more things that we're going to be putting out soon. So appreciate it. See you next time. This was James with Board Game Spotlight. Bye.